welcome to another adventure in real estate. It's that time, 15th of the month here, so we're going to talk a little bit about a market summary, market update, what's going on in this real estate market. And so as we move along here, I'm going to share with you a few slides, a few things, just snapshot of kind of where this market is and some comparisons to what's maybe happened in years past. So we'll jump right at. Here we are at residential home sales for the month of July. You can see here, July 2025, there was 534 homes that sold throughout the Roanoke Valley. And this information, I always talk about this a little bit, but this information comes to us from the Roanoke Valley Association of Realtors, and it'd be the greater Roanoke Valley is where this information is coming from. So if you were to look at July of 2025, there's that 534. Compare it to a year ago, we're up about 60 homes. So, from my standpoint, it's a little over 10% increase from a year ago. And you guys, again, we're trying to just give you a snapshot of what this market is doing. And, homes are still selling. They're still moving. Inventory has climbed. We'll talk about inventory here in a minute, but inventory continues to climb as we move along. So we look at Franklin County home sales, residential homes. We're at 81 for the month of July. Again, that's up a little bit from where we were a year ago in July of 2024. Smith Mountain Lake, these waterfront homes, we were to compare that year over year, we're pretty steady on that market. As you can see there in that lower line, it talks a little bit, shows you the information where we were 5 years ago. Of course, in 2020, that was a COVID year, and so we can always put an asterisk by that, but certainly was a lot of demand for some space, some I guess, get out and sort of have your own little area. We certainly see a huge increase at that time in interest on waterfront property there at the lake, and so you see almost double what we had in 2025 versus 2020. So that gives you a snapshot of what the home sales, residential home sales were in July. We'll step in here and we'll talk briefly about land sales. Land continues to move throughout the Roanoke Valley. There's definitely interest in land. Certainly, if we were to break some of this information down, I think you would see some larger tracts of land have been in demand and came on the market and moved relatively quickly. So July, 57 land sales. This would be anything from a half an acre all the way up to large tracts of land. And so this would be anything that would fall in that criteria, of course, throughout the Roanoke Valley. So 57 moved in July. We were at 69 a year ago. You look at Franklin County, steady from July of 2025 to July of 2024. And of course, get into waterfront homes, just land, waterfront land sales there. Looks like they, as again, have been pretty steady there in July 2025 versus a year ago. Of course, COVID, you guys, land sold just like homes. There was a fair amount of demand there in July of 2020, and so you can see that showing up here. I mentioned inventory earlier. We're going to jump to that and talk just briefly about the inventory. This was pulled on the 14th of August. So if we were to look at inventory of homes, residential homes in the Roanoke Valley, we're just shy of 1,300 homes. And then if you were to look at Franklin County, we're a little over 200 homes for sale in Franklin County, and waterfront Smith Mountain Lake homes were 91 is what the inventory of homes that are for sale in those respective areas. And as we talked about, if I were to give you a snapshot of maybe where we were a year ago, a number of homes for sale versus August of 2024, this number would be higher than that. We're seeing inventory increase. And not only is it the number of homes, but also you look at the days in which it takes properties to sell, that number is creeping up as well. So it gives you a quick snapshot into what's going on in the real estate market here. We'd love to visit with you. If you're interested in buying or selling a home, reach out to us at the Kingery team at Mountain to Lake Realty. We'd love to visit with you. It's going to wrap things up. We'll see you next time on another adventure in real estate.